Martin, at the final whistle on Monday evening, was it relief? Were you proud? Was it
No.
expected and deserved?
No, it was more than a relief, because if you play, games like Stoke City and Spurs, you can't say that we played bad all the time. Stoke was different. First half we couldn't play around them, and of course we didn't have the most creative midfield, and we maybe struggle a bit when Brian Ruiz is not in midfield. So, because when he played, we had 3 goals against Arsenal, 5 goals, West Brom, 3 goals against Norwich. We seem to score goals all the time, Southampton away. And probably we missed him. But that doesn't mean, with other players in that role, and we had Dimitar, for example, playing very well, that we can't score goals. And we didn't score goals in the last 3 games, so that was horrible. If you see us the first half, we scored. Then after that we should have scored again. We didn't. They scored the equaliser, and then you really think, is that one of these nights again? So you can't blame me to have even more than feel more than relieved after the game, because we needed the 3 points, because it would have been horrible, if not, we would have been under big pressure. And of course we need points now, but now we're on 20 points. Our target is of course more than 50 points, but the first thing is to get 40 points as soon as possible. If you look at us, of course people will say you play good football, and last year I thought we played some fantastic football after Christmas, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you get the points all the time. But we are still building a team. If you look at the likes now in midfield, Chrissy Bed was a defender, he's playing in midfield. Sidwell was injured last year, was not always in the team. And I'm still very happy with the development of Sidwell. Sidwell is getting better and better, one of our better players. Chris Baird, still has to be a number 4. He has to develop himself, and we talk about that, and he will, because he's a good player, good education. Because if not, I couldn't play him. Diarra was another one. It was very influential last year when he came. He was injured, had an operation. He's still on the fringe of being fit, not being fit. So we miss, if you compare us with last year, it's at least 4 or 5 players in midfield. Of course, we got the quality up front. In midfield we struggled, and now you see Sidwell coming back, and he was not fit. He was injured. He had 2 operations. The first one, the second minor one.
Oh, he thought it was career-ending at one point.
Yeah, and now he's back, and I think we need him. He's pressurizing people. He scored 4 goals. He's playing well. So it's a matter of developing, and I think we are getting better and better now. But I think we had a bad situation when Brian Ruiz was not there.
But even without Brian, there's still chances of being creative. Dimitar had 2 great chances. There were other chances being created elsewhere over the pitch. Is it about finishing? Is it about making sure you maximise on those opportunities and taking those chances when they come?
As long as we get and create the chances, there's no problem. Dimitar, I saw Dimitar in a lot of 1v1s in my time. I had him a couple of seasons, and now again. And I never saw him miss, for example, the first chance he had in the 1-for-1 with the keeper. But he covers so much ground for us, because he has to do a job against Tiote. It was the other night. Before that, he was covering 11.5 kilometers, for example, 1,500 high-intensity runs. So he's covering a lot of ground. He's doing more than ever before in his life. So of course it can happen that he lacks a bit of, a yard or a little bit of strength, but hopefully not, because I feel that Dimitar is so confident. When I look at him, I always feel that I'm looking at a guy who's playing in the park. He makes it look so easy, but he's not. He looks a bit different, but actually, when I was at Spurs, he told me that he did it on purpose. He said, I always try to make them asleep, and then I will probably do my thing and hit them again. And I thought, maybe he's got a point there, because you can't change him, But to have him here, after all the problems we had in the transfer window, and as I said before, if you saw that we were probably the only club in the Premier League who suffered big time, if you see us now, if you saw us the first 10 games of the season, I think I couldn't ask for more, and I still feel that we are building, but we will build a fantastic team, and sometimes we show that, but you can't blame me for having mixed feelings against Newcastle, because I really thought, with that ball from Colicini on the bar, and they had 1v1 when it was offside with Chise. I thought, how is it possible that we still fighting for a result, after having 5 or 6 or 7 100% chances. So that is always a worry.
And defensively, obviously having Breda back, that seemed to make a difference. There was a kind of renewed vigour about Breda almost on Monday evening.
Because Breda always played. Now we saw when he was not playing, you know, of course you miss him. And you had that feeling, maybe it's not the best feeling to have because he's in his last year of his contract. So, and of course he knows that he's valuable and he's important to the team, you know. So he showed it again, so hopefully he will sign his contract. I think he knows that he's a big player here. He's my team captain, club captain, so I wouldn't move if I was him, you know, and we made him a good offer, so I think I'm still very convinced that he will sign that contract.
And in terms of the squad, you've got a number of options. Alex Kaciniklic, you substituted on Monday evening, and obviously Kieran scored a fantastic free kick in the development squad game earlier in the week. Are you likely to make any changes over?
It's difficult. It's difficult because normally you want to give them their confidence. But Kieran Richardson came on, you know, after his injury against, for example, Southampton. He scored a goal. He made one. He's got some qualities. Kaciniklic is young. Kieran Vrij is young, so you have to make a choice. But you can't chop and change all the time. But if you explain the players like Kaka, you know, he looks good. But he could be more productive. He had 2 good chances and he failed with his right foot. He missed them. I think if he keeps his head cool, if he crosses, you know, better, his crossing should be better, and he will improve because we work on it every day. He's a big talent. Kieran Vrij is a dribbler, you know, but of course I'll put them on the horse and then they have to show their qualities. But you can't say that they are the finished article yet. So we have to work on it. Kieran Richardson is clever. He's experienced. He scores goals, you will see that, you know, he's got a great shot, he's a good finisher. So it's a matter of choice, and hopefully we will make the right choice against QPR, because there's a big chance that Kaka will play, but on the other hand I feel that maybe we should start with Kieran, because Kieran, I love Kieran, you know, when he played for other clubs. I saw him for West Brom. Even before that at Man United, big talent. Sunderland, he can play left back, he can play left wing, he can go. He's more like Clint, you know, he fades a bit and then he will shoot, and that is what he did. So hopefully he will settle, and then there's a big competition for places, and I think it's good for the youngsters.
And Hugo especially, obviously scoring the goal, but he combines very well with Dimitar too.
He combines well, but if you look at the likes of Mladen and Petric, Mladen is a goal scorer. Mladen can score goals out of nothing.
And almost scored on.
And he came on first start, boom, almost a goal. So, but to combine, I think Hugo got this pace, you know, and sometimes you need that sort of pace. I was happy that Hugo scored the goal, the winner, but it was with his head, and I would like Hugo to score with his feet, you know, like Mladen. Mladen scored 4 goals, and Hugo scored 2 goals, and Hugo had more minutes on the pitch for us than Mladen. So we are in a very good position. The only thing I hope is that I can keep them happy, you know, because Mladen is, and hopefully our fans appreciate that, he's one of the best finishers I've ever seen. But sometimes you have to look at the balance, and the balance was good against Newcastle.
QPR fighting for their lives. It's an enormous game for them tomorrow. It's important not to be, I guess, the first team that QPR get their win against at Loftus Road if we can help it.
We like that pressure, of course, because we are a team, you know, who did so many good things this year and the year before, and even the years before that. But QPR is a derby game. You saw that last year. We managed to have 6 points of them. We scored 6 goals against them. The team they've got now is better. They've got more quality. They had 7 draws, so they were close, you know. Even when you saw them against Manchester City away from home, they scored the first goal. And they were very unlucky to lose that game. So they were very close. As you said, you're right, you know, hopefully it's not the first game, but every game is different. We've got 3,000 or 4,000 fans there. If you saw the atmosphere last year when we beat them 1-0, hopefully we can do the same. And of course we all hope and pray for a result, and I think we had some confidence out of the Newcastle game, so hopefully we'll take that into that game.
As we said, over 3,000 fans, our entire allocation sold out within a couple of days. It's massive for the fans, and you know they're 100% behind you, so we wish you luck on Saturday.
Thank you.